a white guy would show up, right? And other white guys go, oh, what are you here for? And they're like, usually they say, oh, my lawyer told me not to talk about my case. The white guys would come up to me, they go, Cox, see that guy over there? I'm like, yeah, he got here yesterday. Okay, go talk to him. Why? He says he's here for fraud. I don't like the look of him. And I'd be like, and so then I have to go over to the guy and I'm like, hey man, what's up? I hear you're here for fraud. And they'd be like, yeah. And I go, well, what kind of fraud? Credit card fraud. And I go, oh, okay, well, they charged you with credit card fraud? Yeah. I go, is that the name of the charge?
Not a crime.
Yeah, it's not a crime. And they go, yeah, I was charged with credit card fraud. And I go, okay. Well, what'd you do? Oh, I defrauded, credit card companies. Yeah. Well, yeah, but how did you do it? Like, did you work at the bank? Did you have access to the credit card numbers? Like, I don't understand. The white guy named Kenny King was standing right here. There were probably a couple guys behind him, but Kenny's standing there. And I go, so what did you do exactly? And he goes, I'll never forget what he said. It's not a learning experience. And I went, oh, okay. And I go, he's a cho. And I turned around and walked off, and Kenny goes, bingo, like that. And he followed me. Kenny was like, how do you know? How'd you know so fast? I said, I've never met a fraudster that didn't want to brag to you. A lot of the stuff you see in the movies is like never been to a drug deal where people were bringing guns. I mean, these guys are showing up with duffel bags with $1 million. You know the guys, you know who you're dealing with. It's super beneficial for them, for us. Why would you go to the meeting if I thought I needed a gun? He's like, then I'm not going. The whole, you lost 100 keys. They're going to kill you. No, he's like, they're going to say, how can we work this out? He goes, because you've had a lot of success. They know busts happen. He said, now if they think you were involved in the bust, you got a problem. Yeah. But it busts
or
random.
Sometimes if you can't prove that you
was
weren't
another
involved.
thing. That's another thing. He said, like, literally one time some vehicles got grabbed that were stuffed with stuff. And the DEA, like, there was a big thing with the truck driver who's saying, like, I need something. You're taking the trucks. I'm not involved. You need to give me something for those trucks. Like, I need proof that you took these trucks. So they like gave him a card. They gave him like a receipt.
It's true.
Because he's like, I don't give a that you took the trucks. What I care about is I can't show up without them and not have something to show these guys.
100%.
Group of Mexicans come and put a new roof on the house, and they charge $900. So you put $900, but you don't put it all the way on the line. You put it farther back. So you go to give them the thing. You go, hey, you know what? Are you going to deposit this? Like, are you going to go cash it? I can cash it. I got the cash right now. They go, yeah. I'm going to cash it. I go, well, you want me to cash it? Yeah. Okay, well, here, sign the back of it. Whatever your whatever numbers you have for your license, if they have a license, like write your license number, whatever, your social security number, whatever, but write all things so that I can 1099 you at the end of the year. Yeah, no problem. These roofers and stuff, and they're not licensed, so they're never going to claim any of this money. So I can 1099 them. So I give them $900, take the check, and I write $3,900. And then I go deposit it. Comes out of my business account into my personal account. And it looks like I just wrote him a check for $3,900. And the next check, I do the same thing. $500, $4,500, $800, $1,800. I did Vlad. It's weird. He's not there. So what happens is wherever you are, he rents a studio, hires a film crew. So he has an iPad there. It's basically a FaceTime. Matt Cox, how are you today? He does his little thing, but you're sitting there and the camera's here. He's just to the side of the camera on a little stand or a little on a whatever that he's got. First thing he said was, completely know your story. I've read all about it, read your book. 5 minutes in, I realized you don't have it. So I said, listen, you haven't read my book, because I'll just sit here and tell my story. Oh, I did get notes on it. Like, my assistant wrote some notes and some things for me to, instead of you asking me questions, I'll just tell the story and blah, 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 blah. And all of a sudden he would stand up and walk away. Yeah, I'd stop. Like, it was super, like, I'm used to, I'm talking to somebody and you get up and walk off. You expect me to keep looking at the camera and answer, but like, he didn't prepare me for that. So he goes, no, keep, I can hear you. I'm just doing something. I'm still here. Keep talking. And then as I'm talking, he comes and he sits down and then he asks, went
to jail, got bailed out. I am not doing prison time in my golden years. I'm 19 years old. I'm like, I'm getting out of here. So I went to the post office. I was like, I don't know if this is going to work. They issued me a passport and I was like, they sent it to my house. I was like, this is insane. I hopped on a Greyhound. I said goodbye to my family. I went from Colorado to Indiana. I said goodbye to my family there. I was like, yeah, I'm just going to go backpack Europe. They're like, oh, cool. Have fun. And then I took a train from Chicago to New York, said goodbye to my family. Now they knew, and they were like freaking out, go turn yourself in. And my dad actually supported it. He flew out there. He's like, good luck, man. He's like, I wish you the best. He's like, I'm not going to say anything that's going to stop you. And
Right.
he's like, I'd rather you not be in prison too.
Well, how much time did you think you were looking at?
I was looking at 4 to 8.
Okay.
But I mean, it was probably my first offense.
Yeah, but at that age, it seems like forever. Right.
And the thing was, I couldn't do probation. I wouldn't do probation, and I wouldn't do jail. So there was really no other option.
Turning 15 grand into 60,000 every 3 weeks. He buys a kilo of Coke and he grams it out. He puts 10 grams of Coke in. He doesn't sell 8 balls. He doesn't sell 2. He says 1 gram. You want 3 grams? You buy 3 grams at the price, right? He sells them for $60, puts them in little bags. He doesn't cut it. So every little bag has a little like fish scaly, pearly looking rock. He takes 10 grams with him. When he's done with those deliveries, he, comes back home, gets 10 more, drives around in his Porsche, does his thing. The police end up coming to raid his house. The police raid his house. Well, he lit his balcony. You can see the pool. He has 2 keys there. He gets them while they're banging on the door, and he throws them. They missed the pool by this much. By literally, they're right on the edge. So on the edge that Simon said when the cops came in and looked, they started laughing at him, right? Like it was hilarious. Because if it hits the pool, you're dead. You got nothing. So anyway, they lock him up.
I had an employee, for some reason, decided to steal my checks. And I get a phone call from the bank. Bank of America says, hey, yeah, you got an employee here trying to cash a check. I'll be right there. So I go inside, and I see he's trying to cash 3 of them. So I called her up like, yo, why would you do that? Like, if you needed money, I would have gave it to you. And then she starts selling me out. Oh, you're just stealing from people, and you just want to do this to buy your girl a new purse. I was like, what does this got to do with anything? Like, you knew what we were doing. Press charges, paid the bondsman before she got there, went in there, she was released. But she declared war on me, dude. Literally contact the AG. I'm talking, she had the inside scoop on everything. So now they had a real file on me. Well, the office that I was in, I would just do laps around it, just kind of get exercise, just walking on my phone, handling business, doing whatever it is I'm doing. Mm-hmm. Sure enough, one day I'm walking around, and the squad runs in there. Like, mind you, these guys got guns. They're acting like we're damn terrorists or some shit. Mm-hmm. Like, telephones, you know what I mean? They had guns and all this shit. I'm like, they're looking for me, but I'm walking around the building just doing laps, and I see all this shit going on, and I'm like, oh shit. So I go immediately to my car. Mind you, it's too hot for Gunner to do anything in Orlando. So I had a friend, and he was out there in the Dominican Republic doing timeshare, but just like on the phone by himself, not even using a merchant, just running it through Western Union and MoneyGram, keeping 100%. That sounds like something that could work.
At my house, smoking on the couch, and I hear a knock on the door, and I hear Anthony, and my neighbor's name was Anthony, so I think it's my neighbor, knocking on my door, right? And so I'm like, yeah, come on in. So they open the door, and it's a couple of sheriffs, and they come walking in. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, all right, well, come on in, man. And so they come walking in, they kind of like start looking around. I got like a 4-footer water pipe, you want to call it, or whatever, laid up against the couch. I got like a smaller one on the table, and there's like a big joint burning on the ashtray. And I'm just like, and they're like, yeah. They were like, you were here, you have a dog? And I was like, yeah. And they're like, well, they were like, we're here to arrest you for animal cruelty. I'm like, what? They're like, yeah, we just got your dog. Your dog was brought in. Apparently he was involved in a car accident like 2 weeks ago. And I was like, yeah. I was like, as you can see, I was in the hospital. I was like, I just got out of the hospital. I had the paperwork right there. I was like, I just got out of the hospital.
Was the dog hurt?
So I guess apparently he had his jaw. I don't know. He had something wrong with his jaw. I don't know exactly what it was, but so I had gotten out of the hospital and didn't know where my dog was. So I'm calling around trying to find my dog. It takes me about a day to find my dog. So he's at one of the kennels in the city. So find out where he's at. And then I have my buddy Paul. My buddy Paul goes and picks up my dog from the kennel place and takes the dog to the vet. This was one day I'm out of the hospital. Picks up the dog, see there's something wrong with his jaw, takes him to the vet. And so we're like, okay, cool. That's where it was like left at. And I guess he was at the vet for a few days and they didn't know that I was in the hospital. And so they had figured the original car accident date was a couple weeks prior. That's why they called. So I show them all the paperwork and they're like, okay, we're going to arrest you, but I can see that it was like you're in the hospital, then you find him, but you're still going to have to go to court. So I end up going to court a few weeks later. They see, I show them the paperwork and they were like, okay, we'll come back in 3 weeks. You know, we'll settle this. Okay. Go back to court 3 weeks later and they call the case and I kind of show them, I'm like, hey, like I'm in the hospital. I'm out a day. I find him the next day and he's at the vet the next day. Right. What's up? Where's my dog at? And the dude in the pews behind me, he's like, hey, if they have a pit bull or a Rottweiler longer than like a couple of weeks, they put him to sleep. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, are you kidding me? And like, I'm like, so did you guys put my dog to sleep? I'm sitting here in court. I'm sitting here fighting my case. And before I can prove that I'm innocent, you guys are going to put my dog to sleep.
Right.
I was like, how hypocritical is that, man? Like what's wrong with your guys' system? I start talking shit to the judge and he starts banging his gavel. He's like, get out of here before I hold you in contempt. Da, 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 da. I just started letting him have it, man. But my buddy that was there kind of helped remove me from the courtroom.
Where was the dog?
They put the dog to sleep.